Welcome to News 9 Mediaverse, and you are joining me on my show On Point. Now, the farmers' protest has shocked the entire NCR. Though the government has sent emissaries, done enough, injected enough money, but it seems that closer to Lok Sabha elections, politics gets better of political parties or better of common sense. Now, what has happened is that Rahul Gandhi has announced that if the India Bloc comes to power, they will enact a legal guarantee for minimum support price for crops in line with Swaminathan Commission's recommendations. However, during the Congress tenure in 2010, they rejected the Commission's proposal, citing concerns that a universal MSP guarantee could distort the market. This was done by Congress. K.V. Thomas was the minister, and the picture is there. It is part of the written record. The Congress is now criticizing the BJP for its stance of farmers and reluctance to implement MSP, arguing that it would lead to physical issues. But I would say the larger issue is, why is this issue being politicized if they are saying that it would lead to insignificant physical issues? And I would say that why is Congress saying that a part of the Swaminathan Commission's report was implemented? So what is being leveraged here? Interest of the farmers or the interest before the Lok Sabha election? There is no conversation that has taken place on the issue of physical deficit. There is no conversation that has taken place on what the government has done. Let me play out those graphics for you on the screen now. Because now what's going to happen is, from Thursday onwards, a lot of things will happen. Now, budget allocation increased by 5.26 times in 2023-24 compared to 2013 and 14. Emphasis on promoting agriculture through technology. Modernizing agriculture for comprehensive benefit to farmers. ₹6,000 yearly pension to farmers paid in 3 installments. Rupees 2.81 lakh crore in cash to 11 crore farmers. MSP increased for all mandated Kharif, Rabi and other commercial crops. MSP for paddy increased from rupees 1,310 per quintal in 2013-14 to rupees 2,183 quintal in 2023-24. MSP for wheat increased from rupees 1,400 quintal in 2013-14 to be 2,275 quintal in 2023-24. Increase in MSP of rice up to 67%, for wheat up to 62.5% from 2013-14 to 2023-24. These are hard facts, not faff. These are hard facts. Increase in procurement from farmers. These are hard facts. I am putting these hard facts in front of you. Credit outlay of 20 lakh crore to farmers in 2023-24. These are hard facts, the money that has gone. 4% interest rate extended for animal husbandry and fisheries. So the point is, it's not a national farmer issue. Farmer is a political class, farmer is a social class, farmer is an economic class. But then all farmers are not the same farmers. So look at all the data and see how much money has been funneled. But in case, if the demands are unreasonable, then what do you do? How can the country come out of WTO? Is it possible? The sanctioned credit limit of rupees 569974 crore extended to farmers. If you look at the equitable distribution of wealth, it's all there. If you look at the money which needs to be spent and being demanded, 45 lakh crore, out of which 10 lakh crores on MSP, where will this money come from? Who is going to pay for this money? In the name of I.N.D.I.A, you cannot tax the entire middle class like that, squeeze them out of their life. Everyone has an equal stake in the country. Farmers, middle class, scientists, technicians, they are all equals. I mean, so if the food is being produced, then the people are paying for the food also. Who will adjust for that inflation? So before I go any further, let me play out some important bites, 2 bites first. I'll play them out for you.
देखिए, कांग्रेस ऐसा नहीं है कि सरकार में नहीं थी। सरकार में लंबे कालखंड तक रही है और उन्हें किसी ने मना नहीं किया था, बल्कि उन्होंने अस्वीकार कर दिया था। हम तो कह रहे हैं रास्ता निकालने का प्रयत्न करेंगे, तो क्योंकि उनकी आदत है झूठे वादे की, और उस तरह के वादे से नहीं बल्कि हम कार्यों से समाधान चाहते हैं, और हम इसीलिए पॉजिटिव तरीके से यह सुनिश्चित करना चाहते हैं कि हम चर्चा के माध्यम से उसको समयबद्ध तरीके से चले, समयबद्ध तरीके से करें। किसानों के संगठनों के प्रतिनिधि उसमें अपने पक्ष को रखते हुए और जो कुछ इस तरह के विषय सामने आएंगे उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए जो किसानों के हित में बेहतर प्रावधान होंगे उन प्रावधानों को किया जाए।
एमएसपी की रिपोर्ट 2004 में आ गई थी, तब कांग्रेस की सरकार थी। 10 सालों में इनकी पार्टी ने क्यों नहीं किया? सिर्फ भड़काने के लिए ऐसे बयान देना ये ठीक बात नहीं है। प्रश्न ये है कि ये कहते हैं हमने दिल्ली जाना है। दिल्ली किस लिए जाना है? बातचीत करने के लिए ना। तो जिनसे दिल्ली जाके बातचीत करनी है वो सारे मंत्री और अधिकारी जब चंडीगढ़ आ गए तो आपने बात नहीं की। इसका मतलब आपका मकसद कुछ और है, और मुझे तो बहुत हैरानगी लग रही है कि पंजाब सरकार ने नोटिस जारी करा है कि हमारी सीमा में ड्रोन मत भेजो। ये हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान हो गया। अगर हमारी पुलिस को मार के कोई पंजाब में भाग जाएगा तो क्या हम उसके पीछे जा नहीं सकते? क्या उसको हम पकड़ नहीं सकते हैं? और अमृतसर से ये जत्थे चले, आपने रास्ते में एक भी जगह रोकने की कोशिश नहीं की। इसका मतलब ये है कि आप दिल्ली को दहलाना चाहते हो। आप दिल्ली में दोबारा चाहते हो कि लाल किले के ऊपर अपमानित किया जाए, दोबारा डांस किया जाए। ये काफी पथराव हो रहा है, और हमारे एक डीएसपी को लगी है, 25 पुलिस कर्मचारियों को लगी है, एक पत्रकार को भी लगी है, आज तक के सीनियर पत्रकार को भी लगी है।
Now let me go across to Ramneet Singh Mann, political analyst with me. Mr. Mann, thank you so much for joining my show. And my first question to you is this a problem specific to Punjab or is it a national problem? Because one thing which I fail to understand is, if it is the national problem, then every state capital in this country would have come to a standstill. There is a part of the NCR which has been choked to death.
Okay, good evening, Karthikeya. Thank you for getting me on your show. Let's be very clear on this. It is a political problem which is being masqueraded as a farmer's problem. The last time that we saw, again, it was a political problem, and a lot of anarchy and a lot of disturbance within the state of Punjab has happened post that first Andolan that we see. Now, very close to these elections, again, you see a protest again brewing on the borders.
Ramneet, protest can be political, but the demands have to be reasonable. I mean to say, I don't expect a political protest because it becomes a contradiction term, but you got to be reasonable. I was going through the data. It's there on the website. I mean to say, so much of money has been infused. Is everything boils down to winning seats in Lok Sabha? No physical prudence, no long-term economic consequences to be factored in, only promises burdening the state exchequer, and that too in the name of Annadata.
Punjab is a state which has declined over the years, and the primary reason for the decline, the fiscal decline, the financial collapse of Punjab has been continuous protests and disturbance in the state, whether it was the terrorism era or it is now the protests one after the other. Industrial complexes, industrial areas, industrial SEZs, or the industries, isolated industries, they are also not confident of setting up industries or expanding in Punjab. So, which in turn, is a vicious cycle when you see that there is zero employment growth in Punjab. It's a negative employment growth, as a matter of fact. There is a problem of migration from the state. There are multiple problems in Punjab, and they're all political problems, and they have to be sorted out politically. Now, when you talk about this Andolan, let me be again very clear. It's an Andolan which is backed by the Artiyas who are getting money either from foreign sources or from political parties, again getting money from the foreign sources, to create a disturbance in the state and to create a situation where people are charged emotionally against this. The fact of the matter is that the government of India has given out over 2,80,000 crores directly to the farmers. Only 6% farmers are getting the benefit of MSP, and they are primarily from Punjab and Haryana. The government is purchasing wheat and paddy in rotation, whereas we are spending a lot of money from the government exchequer from
Okay, Ramnik, sorry, I just need to stop you for a minute because Dr. Prem Vashisht also joins me. Someone who also understands agricultural economics. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me. I would like to know that if there is a problem, then it requires a reform. Why does it take a form of a violent protest?
Well, you see, let me first make it clear that when they say guarantee, constitutional or legal guarantee of MSP, it has to be clarified whether does it really imply that all the grains or any agricultural produce on which MSP guarantee is given is to be procured by the state. Now, it is virtually not feasible that all the thing that the farmers offer to sell can be procured by the state. That's not feasible, not possible. Now, if it means guarantee what the farmers are demanding, their Swaminathan recommendation formula for MSP, it is feasible, then I would say, because the difference between what is being offered by the government in terms of fixing the price MSP and the Swaminathan formula, the cost formula, the difference would be 25 to 30% approximately. Now, if I say that what has been spent, say last year about 2.4 lakh crores, that would mean that the government would end up spending, say approximately if you spend the same amount, about 60,000 crore additional amount. Or if you even procure, say even maximum it can go up to 1 lakh crore. To me, it looks feasible. But if it means that government should procure everything that the farmers offer, then it's virtually impossible. That's not possible. So let's be clear about this thing, that what is the legal guarantee means and what does it imply? Now, coming to this, that if what is government procuring at present and you spend another, say, 25% more on procurement, then this amount perhaps can be saved by better targeting of a lot of flagship programs. And that's possible. Even say like Garib Kalyan Yojana, which you have extended for another 5 years, there is a lot of what you call as targeting errors, exclusion and inclusion errors. Now, if one takes account those for those things, that you exclude top 30% of the income group,
okay,
then it's possible to save at least 30 to 40,000 crore.
Okay.
So my take would be that if MSP procurement legal guarantee implies that whatever is government procuring, it's okay. It does not mean procure everything that the farmers offer. Then it is feasible. by reallocating resources
Okay.
and make saving on other things.
Okay.
But
Okay.
otherwise, it's impossible.
Otherwise, it's impossible. But there's another question which I have, and I'll come to you, Dr. Vashish, which is where is the economy of Arathia located in this? Many people would know this outside Punjab, but we'll come to this issue after the break. But before we go into the break, we are counting down to News 9 Mega Global Summit, what India thinks today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will deliver the keynote address at the summit. The theme of the summit this year is how India is poised for the new next big leap on the global stage. Stay tuned to watch this on TV9 Network, our initiative on Feb 25th and 26th.
From Fragile 5 to Top 5, from a laggard to a leader, India under Modi has reimagined the world order. Presenting the second edition of TV9, What India Thinks Today. Summit theme, India poised for the next big leap. Listen to Prime Minister Modi unveil his vision for Vikasit Bharat at News 9 Global Summit, a TV9 network initiative.
So another breakthrough has taken place, that the government emissaries and the Kisans, they will have another meeting in Chandigarh. That meeting is going to take place on evening. So before I go back to Dr. Prem Vashisht and Ramneek Singh Mann, let me play out one bite which is important to the story.
जिस तरह से केंद्र की सरकार हमारे ऊपर जबर कर रही है, ये बुलेट SLR की बुलेट चलाई गई हमारे ऊपर, इस तरह से हंजू गैस जो हमारे ऊपर नहीं चलाना चाहिए, ये प्लास्टिक की गोलियां उन्होंने इस्तेमाल की, और ये रबड़ की गोलियां, ये हमारे ऊपर हो रहा। और जिस तरह से हमारी परसेप्शन बनाई जा रही मीडिया में, खालिस्तान का अटैक लगाया जा रहा, प्रो लेफ्ट बोला जा रहा है, प्रो कांग्रेस बोला जा रहा है और प्रो पंजाब सरकार बोला जा रहा है, भी ये उत्साहित कर रहे हैं। ऐसी कोई बात नहीं। हम तो ये कहते हैं भी जो देश में नीतियां लागू हैं कांग्रेस लेके आने वाली है। और CPI CPM का राज पश्चिमी बंगाल में 35 साल रहा, उनका और अन्य राज्यों का हमको अधिक फर्क नहीं समझते हैं। तो हम जैसे हम सब सरकारों की आलोचना करते हैं, आम आदमी भगवंत मान सरकार की भी वैसी आलोचना करते हैं। हमसे किसी का कोई लेना देना नहीं, हम देश के किसान हैं, खेत मजदूर हैं और अपनी मांगों के लिए संघर्ष करते हैं। तो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री से अपील करते हैं, फिर मैं तो रोज अपील कर रहा हूँ कि आपका बोलते हृदय बड़ा है, बड़ा हृदय कीजिए और हमें MSP खरीद की गारंटी का कानून बना के दीजिए, जिस तरह से।
So Dr. Vashish, they're saying that, the protest is neutral. Whether protest can be political, it doesn't make a difference. Demands needs to be feasible. But is this protest somehow invested in the Arathia economy of Punjab? Is that correct? Dr. Vashish, then I'll come to Ramneek Singh Mann.
Well, to some extent, I would say, because the major procurement is done from Punjab, Haryana, and to some extent Western UP, and partly, say, in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. So major beneficiaries in Madhya Pradesh too. So major beneficiaries are the farmers from these areas. So basic question remains that if the farmers from, say, poorer states are not benefiting, then it leads to a big question that actually whether you put a guarantee or not guarantee, in any case, the state governments are not procuring sufficient amount from the poor farmers. So they are not benefiting even now, even without so-called constitutional or legal guarantee of MSP, a large proportion of farmers don't benefit. So that question remains. Hardly 1.22 say crore farmers benefited last year. So that problem remains. It's why you find more farmers agitated in this part of the country.
Okay. Mr. Mann, do you think that somehow it is also a result of the political instability in Punjab, AAP trying to assert itself, then you have a Congress which has been, broken in parts. Is it a result of a political flux?
No, there has been a political vacuum in Punjab for a third opposition because the power shift has always been between the Congress party and the Shiromani Akali Dal Badal. So there was always a vacuum for the third front, and the third front came riding on this. If you know that post the Kisan Andolan, Aam Aadmi Party swept 92 seats out of the 117 in Punjab. So when it comes to them, when farmers protested in Sangrur outside the residence of Chief Minister Bhagwant Singh Mann, there were lathi charges and shots were fired in which one farmer had actually died. So this is their attitude when it comes to addressing farmers' issues within the state. Now, since this agriculture, farming is in the concurrent list, there is an onus of responsibility which lies upon the state government as well. And like the gentleman rightly said, he's referring the number of Kisans. I'll tell you the percentage. It's about 6% of the farmers who are benefiting from the MSP, and primarily those are from Punjab and Haryana. And why we address it as primarily in Aarti as Andolan is because the money which spins around during the procurement is usually the central government money which is routed through the mandis. And these Aartiyas, they get their commission. They are commission agents, to be very precise. So commission agents get their money they cut when they purchase a crop on behalf of the central government from the farmers. So this is where it pinches them the most. So that's one reason which also needs to be addressed. How will you cater for adjusting these Aartiyas or these commission agents if the market is opened up? That was one area which was not addressed properly. As a matter of fact, if you look at the statements coming from the opposition parties, especially the Congress, Rahul Gandhi has clearly stated that he will come up with this, guarantee on MSP. They will make it a law. See, if they were to do it, Swaminathan report came in 2005-2006. The chairman was Bhupinder Singh Hooda, then Chief Minister of Haryana. The Congress government did nothing for 8 long years over this. They knew this is not a viable option. Now the farmers need to stick to farming, and they need to discuss how farming can become a benefit oriented or a profit making profession for them. Now that WTO said India should quit WTO, it makes no sense.
No, I know. But you said something very important that there should be sustainability. Ramnik, you are saying that it should be sustainable. Dr. Vashesh, when we talk about sustainability, is there a broad issue here that Punjab needs to be de-addict itself from wheat and rice?
Oh, certainly. Sustainability is a big issue. I would say it's a life and death question for Punjab state and Haryana. Because, the water table, most of the, about 80% of the area of Punjab is overexploited in terms of groundwater. Soil health is deteriorating. Environmental factors are well known. So long-term strategy has to be there. And this is where the both state and the central government must come together. And my suggestion would be that there should be a long-term plan, say 10-year plan, I would say, that you offer look, we are going to support you for these 10 years, but during these 10 years, you got to shift away from wheat and rice rotation. So you support them, come up with a strategy, come up with a very detailed plan. The major concern of the farmers naturally is going to be their income should not fall. So I think it is possible to support them through income support in case they slowly diversify agriculture. But at the same time, a lot of institutional restructuring has to be done. FPO's growth is extremely slow. Cooperative system is extremely slow.
Dr. Vashesh, is it correct for me to say, I'm not an economist, that Punjab is trapped in its own success story of its own self-image of the granary of India, whereas time has come for Punjab in agricultural fields to do things differently and different things?
No, you're perfectly right. They are trapped, but who is responsible? The responsible are the policies, not the farmers themselves.
I agree.
Because you see, so the policies must change, and we must take a long-term point of view, both central and state government. That is where the problem is. So every government is having a very short-term view. They don't take decisions from long-term point of view. A lot of hard decisions are to be taken, and farmers are to be taken on board. All the stakeholders are to be taken on board. And institutions must be developed in a very, very strong and fast manner.
Okay,
that's very important.
Okay,
FPOs and all that. Yeah.
Okay, Ramnik, 1 minute to go. I'm falling short of time. You wanted to say something?
So what I want to say, Karthikeya, is these reasons are for logical minds. When you emotionally charge people against the government, they're not willing to listen. Primarily, number one, crop rotation has been something which has been on the cards for the government for what, 30, 40 years now. After the Green Revolution, we realized that we are storing our coffers to the brim with rotation of paddy and wheat, and we are actually losing a lot. The government is actually selling paddy and wheat at a much lower price than what they are purchasing it from the farmers at. They are trying to support the farmers by producing or putting up plants for ethanol from parali so that they don't burn parali. They still burn parali. As a matter of fact, their private participation in farm sector is the necessity of the day to make it sustainable, to make it profitable. So private participation will come through reforms, and reforms have to be taken logically. They don't have to be, opposed just because you're not understanding what benefit these reforms will bring to you, will bring on the table for your families and for your future generations. Because out of every 100 farmers, there are 45 farmers who are not willing to go forward with farming, or they don't want their children to get into farming.
Correct.
People are losing interest in the trade.
Correct. I think more than that, you see, instead of having a negotiation, a conversation, to create an antagonistic position has actually not served the farmers. If you look at the narrative of last 48 hours, if you look at the visuals which are there on the screen, I think they were completely avoidable. It was really not required for farmers, first of all, to create such a walk, and secondly, for Punjab government to allow it, and then the responsibility to fall on the Haryana government. And imagine, anyone living in an NCR would know what impact it's taking. People are calling saying whether their relatives can visit them or not. But keeping that aside, it also, to create a binary that the state is against the farmers is also very, very wrong. In fact, the criticism of the state sometimes has been that its Labharti politics is getting better of everything, because if you look at the budget in terms of direct benefits, which we call DBT, I think it's the highest in last 30 to 40 years. And even if that doesn't serve people well, I think then there are structural issues. They need to be dealt structurally, which requires economists, which requires policy reforms. Definitely it does not require yatra. So this was a special coverage that why MSP is being politicized, and I think any political party should not politicize economic issues. It doesn't serve the interest of nation very well. So this is all on point, but there will be news on the other side. UAE, don't go away.
$20,000